All right, these are trinomials that don't fit any of the three patterns we talked about. So this method, called the grouping method, and you can do it with a box or with parentheses, will factor these trinomials. You can also use this method to factor trinomials that fit those three patterns in case you can't remember the pattern. So this method pretty much always works. So if we're going to place the first term, 6x squared, in the first box here. We'll place the last term in the last box. And then we multiply those together, and we get negative 120x squared. Then we have to find what factors of negative 120x squared add up to be 7x. So if we make a little list, and some people can make this list mentally and run through it, others of us need to just write it down. So we know we're going to have 1x and 120x, and I'm not going to worry about signs just yet. I know that there's no combination of those that will make 7x. I could have a 2x and a 60x. That's never going to make a 7x. I could have a 3x and a 40x. That's never going to work. 4x and 30x. That's never going to work. 5x and, let's see, 24x. I'm doing this mentally. That's not going to work. How about 6x and 12x? That's never going to work. How about 8x? That would go into 12 one time. And 15x. Ooh, this is looking good. 8x and 15x. Well, if I have a negative 8x and a positive 15x, that will add up to be 7x. So I'm going to put those as a substitute into my box. Then I pull out the GCF of each row and each column. So the GCF of my first row is going to be 2x. And because my first box was positive, that's why I pulled out a positive GCF. In my bottom row, my GCF will be 5. My first column, my GCF will be 3x. And then my second column, notice my first box is negative, so I'm going to pull out a negative GCF. So it'll be negative 4. And that's how I factor using the box. If I prefer the parenthesis version of the same thing, I would write my first term, spread out a little bit, and write my last term. And just like we did before, if we multiply those together, we get negative 120x squared. We find what factor pairs of negative 120x squared add up to 7x, and that's this pair. So I'm really just substituting 7x with negative 8x plus 15x. And then I group it, just like that. Then I pull out the GCF. Then I pull out the GCF of the other group. We notice that now what's in our parentheses are the same thing. That becomes my GCF. So if I divide out 3x minus 4, I would be left with 2x plus 5. And those are the exact same factors I got over here using the box method. And of course, to check it, I can multiply it together to make sure I get the original polynomial. So if I do 3x times 2x, I get 6x squared. Then if I do 3x times 5, I get plus 15x. Then if I do negative 4 times 2x, I get negative 8x. And negative 4 times 5 gives me negative 20. And then these two middle terms, again, combine to make the plus 7x that I had originally. And that's the grouping method.